at Milwaukee Tool, in case you haven't noticed. It's something that we've continued to lead the pack in regards to new tools, new innovation. So just 4 short years ago, we launched the M18 fuel Sawzall. And today that has continued to lead the market in regards to performance and durability, and even giving us runtime that we have learned is longer than we thought that we could accomplish. So Paul walked you through the 9.0 battery as well, and when we deliver that battery, this tool is going to continue to deliver those same results. So this year, I'm very excited to introduce you guys to the M18 fuel Sawzall with OneKey. So this is actually going to be the first fully customizable, fully programmable Sawzall on the market. So why Sawzall, you may ask? So Evan and Christian talked you through, we launched drills and impact drivers with that same tool customization just 3 months ago. And the reason that those tools are important is because they're a critical tool to all of your readers out there today. They're a critical tool for your DIY guys. They're a critical tool for your electricians, your plumbers, your sprinkler fitters. Sawzall is in that same category of critical installation tools. The Sawzall is very versatile. It's used by a lot of different users for a variety of different reasons. When we launched the Drills and Impact Driver program, tool customization was something that was very, very unique to those tools. So being able to actually dial that tool in based on what you're doing so that you can customize your tool for what you want it to be able to do is something that we're now going to deliver with the M18 fuel Sawzall. So we're going to walk through a couple of these different features today to show you a little bit about what we've uncovered in some of our research and the value that we can provide via the tool customization within this tool. So one of the first things that we investigated and we talked to users about in regards to frustration is consumables, right? So if you invest in a tool, you're also going to be investing in a lot of Sawzall blades over the life of that tool. So imagine if we can give you longer blade life based on the material that you're cutting in a day and what kind of blade you're going to be cutting that material with. We can now give you an optimized cutting speed that's going to give you a better cutting experience and is actually going to give you longer blade life as well. So we're going to do a quick demonstration to show you, what we can deliver in regards to the longer blade life story. And then we'll walk you through how we're actually able to customize your tool based on what you're cutting. So I've got 2 helpers over here. So Dave and Jeremy are actually going to show you a demo. We're going to have it up on the screen so that you can see it here. But for those of you on this side, they're actually going to put it here for you as well. So we are going to be doing a cut in stainless steel. Stainless steel is recognized as a very hard application. So your electricians and your plumbers will sometimes encounter this material and it's very difficult to execute. Typically, guys will go through a variety of blades to get that one cut done because the material is so dense. So the reason we're showing you this today is because it's a great way for us to show you the benefit that we can provide on longer blade life in just one shortcut. So Jeremy, raise your hand. So Jeremy's got, these are both M18 fuel Sawzalls with the OneKey functionality. Jeremy's got the tool programmed to optimize for cutting stainless steel. And Dave over here, he's got a tool that's programmed the same way that our standard fuel Sawzall would be programmed today. So that's going to be cutting at full beast mode speed at 3000 SPM. You ready? All right, gentlemen, go for it. So as you can see, because this is such, thank you very much, because this is such a hard material, it's something that becomes very difficult to cut through. We've done this a variety of different times, and the awesome thing about what we've found by working with users and working with engineering internally is that we can optimize for that material to find the right cut speed. So if you look right here, there's a balance when it comes to cutting too fast and creating a lot of heat, like Dave did on the right-hand side over here. But if you cut too slow for longer blade life, it can sometimes provide a lot of vibration, which makes a difficult cutting experience for the user. So we've worked with users and we've worked with engineering to figure out where that sweet spot is in the middle here. So we're going to give you a quick preview of how we're able to do this through the app. So when we worked with users, the first thing that they're concerned about is, hey, what material am I going to be cutting? So we're going to allow you to choose that through the app. So if you go into cut customization, you're going to be able to select what material you're going to be cutting. You're then going to be able to select, the density of that material, which is going to affect the vibration and the heat created within that material, followed by what kind of blade you're going to be using. The cool thing about this is that our users want to know, hey, how am I going to get that best-in-class cutting experience? And so we've got a recommended blade based on what we've learned through all the testing that we've done internally. So the cool thing about this is that it is going to give our users longer blade life at the end of the day, which is something that has become very, very important to them as they use a Sawzall in their day-to-day activity. So some of the other research that we've done is more of a cross-trade experience and frustration that we've learned happens no matter what kind of material you're cutting. And one of those frustrations has to do in regards to starting off a cut. Whether you're cutting metal or you're cutting wood, our M18 fuel Sawzall's got a lot of power. It's the fastest saw on the market today. So what can we do to help improve the experience of starting that cut? If you're cutting dense metal too fast, the blade has a tendency to kind of walk around a little bit. So just like if you're drilling too fast with a drill bit, you know how the bit can kind of walk a little bit on you? The same thing will happen with the Sawzall blade if you cut too fast at the beginning of a cut. So Dave's going to give you just a short demo of what that kind of looks like, just to give you a visual. So if you were to cut that material at a very fast speed, the blade has a hard time initiating with that material. So this is something that will occur in metals. It'll also occur in wood. So for any of our residential HVAC guys or plumbers that are doing cut-ins for either toilets or ventilation, they're going to have a specific line that they're going to need to follow. So we can actually allow them now to slow down the start of that cut for plunge cuts as well, so that they can make a clean line and they can do their job right the first time. One of the additional things that we've learned is accidental cuts, right? So if I've got the most powerful saw on the market and I can now control how it's going to start off that cut, what about the end of that cut, right? So if I'm cutting through metal, a lot of users will typically slow down or try to lighten up at the end of a cut to prevent accidental cuts in other materials. And so we're actually very excited to announce the first automatic brake for a Sawzall. The cool thing about what this does is it's actually going to stop the blade as soon as the blade gets through the material, which is going to prevent damaging additional materials that are within that area. So in a lot of new installation or in a lot of remodel projects, there's a lot of material that's being installed in the same area. So instead of having to worry about hitting material that's next to what I'm working on so that the mechanical guy has to come back when I'm done, I can be very precise about what I'm trying to cut, which is going to give me accurate, precise cuts. All right, so we're going to show you how this thing works. I'm sure you're curious. So Dave's going to give us a short demonstration. So we actually have programmed a couple of things in this tool, which is a really good example of how you can take advantage all the different ways to customize this tool within one application. So we've got a slight ramp up, which is going to help the blade bite the conduit as it starts the beginning of that cut. And it's also programmed at the speed that's recommended via testing and user testimonial from cutting this type of material. And then we're actually going to stop the blade at the end of the cut with the cut brake as well. So go ahead, Dave. So as you can see, his finger's still holding that trigger. So the cool thing about this is that we know, I'm sure you can imagine there's a lot of different circumstances where you would want that blade to stop at the end of a cut. And this is something that we're able to do by accessing the advanced intelligence electronics that are already built into that tool. So like these guys talked about earlier today, we want to make sure that we remember tool customization with the Sawzall is awesome. It's the first time that your readers are going to be able to actually customize a Sawzall based on what they want to do during a day. But the cool thing about this tool is that it's also going to be integrated with the other OneKey tools in the system, right? So not only can you also add this tool to your inventory, you can track it, you can lock Bob the plumber out of it if you want to. You're going to have all those other advanced features that are part of the OneKey system. So customize your tool, you can then track it, and then manage it with the rest of your Milwaukee tools.